So I'm really sorry to do this because you have just sown the seed of optimism for what is to come on the field of play. But the breaking news today, as we record this pod, is the headline that has broken on Rugby Pass. Well done for the scoop. TNT Sports could add the Six Nations to their expanding portfolio of international rugby starting next season. The story is percolated out through the media. Wales Online. Six Nations games set to go behind paywall. As they borrowed the line from someone else. What a surprise. Behind paywall as new TV channel for tournament emerges. Everybody, and Chris Foy's written the same in the Daily Mail as we start recording this. It looks very likely. And at this point, we don't know whether it's all going behind a paywall, whether they will do some behind the paywall and some free to air. But we have all been in the game for a very long time, probably 100 years between the four of us. I have never, ever, ever in all of my time in rugby heard anybody say Six Nations behind a paywall would be a good idea. And yet the story seems to be that the Six Nations is going behind the paywall. Yeah, if it comes through, how damaging, or is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Take it whichever way you want.
I think from my point of view, I think Shane hit it on the head. It has iconic memories in my head from my childhood of watching Six Nations, whether it be with my dad or my brother, and talking about it at school. And I think in terms of eyeballs, you're looking between 9 and 12 million, I think, at peaks, which is more eyeballs than you'll ever get outside of a Rugby World Cup. It really is the guiding light. And what have we always said about those jewel in the crowns? Bill Sweeney last week called it the jewel in the crown. Mess with the Six Nations at your own peril. And it seems that we're messing with the Six Nations. Arrived. Yeah, I mean, what can we... The other things that we've said, Super Rugby, that was always Sky, but then they messed with the format, and now it's dead. Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, I think it's happening somewhere in the corner of some...
When was the last time you got up for a Super Rugby?
Yeah, exactly. They valued the Six Nations at 100 million for their TV deal. I think the BBC ITV deal at the moment is 90 million. My question is, those eyeballs that you will lose to put it on a paywall,
is it worth
10 million quid? And my answer would be hell no.
This might be, by the way, right, just come into this.
It's been done before.
No, let's say all equal. This, on the face of it, could be a brilliant idea.
Yeah, great.
So show us the plan, right?
Yep.
Show us the plan of how you're going to, build the game through this deal, not just the 10 million quid more, if it is 10 million quid more, not just that and where you're going to go with that, but what you're going to do to counteract this massive reduction in viewership that's going to be there, the implications for sponsorship that's going to be there, the lack of playing numbers that's going to be there in the future as a result. Show us how this is all going to make things better, not just we've got short-term money here of 10 million, and that's why we're taking it.
That is a brilliant point. That is a brilliant point relative to last week when Bill Sweeney said we've got this enormous Allianz deal to rename Twickenham, and nobody knows anything about it. If you are going to put the Six Nations behind a paywall, come out, be transparent, say what the money is, say where the money's going to go, say why this is good for rugby. Otherwise, there isn't a single person who, of the 9 to 12 million who watch it on an annual basis, who will think that this is a good idea, and you will lose everything.
And there was a good mention in one of the papers, can't remember which was, so forgive me, where it's like, there's a lot of times that pubs won't pay for subscription channels to put it behind those heavy paywalls that pubs and other places where people will go to be social and watch. Whereas the Six Nations is still always on every sort of chalkboard outside of a pub because it's free on air. They can show it. Every pub likes rugby fans in there. They drink a lot. They very rarely have a lot of any hassle, and they're generally in a jolly mood most of the time because it's the Six Nations.
There's a pizza restaurant around the corner from me, and the chalkboard was come and watch the Six Nations here. It's like, you're a pizza restaurant, what are you doing? But I like the sentiment. That doesn't happen if it goes behind a paywall. And actually the fragmentation of... So there's two things here. Listen, I'm not saying that this sport needs to be on BBC and ITV, in 20 years' time. We don't know what broadcasting will be like in 20 years' time. We can see that it's moving. Streamers are coming in. There's different models. So the kind of terrestrial TV model might be gone. I might go, but we want to figure out in the interim, how you get to that point. And it's the fragmentation means it's not even like it was maybe 5 years ago, where Sky were their go-to channel behind the paywall. Now if you want to watch rugby, you have to watch, get Premier Sports, you got the TNT, you have to get some Sky, you have to, and then there's the stuff that's on terrestrial. It's like, it's not sustainable. Then also layer that into all the other sort of, Disney Plus, Paramount, whatever people are buying for, Netflix, for other forms of entertainment. We're going to lose out here. Yeah. They're going to lose out here. And it is short-term game. It's short-termism in my book. And without a plan, which I've yet to see, and if they had a plan, I'm happy to be contradicted. I think
that would be my only positive would be if TNT are making a play for everything in rugby and will become a rugby channel. Because they've already got the autumn series.
But you're still only talking then to rugby fans. The thing about the Six Nations, my wife said today, my wife said, Six Nations starts the weekend, has no interest in the sport whatsoever, even less interest because I'm involved in it. But she is looking forward to the next 5 weeks. She will not,
because you're away.
Because I'm away, exactly. The house,
those two Spanish gardens.
She's oiled the door hinges.
Garden's always a mess, but she's happy, isn't she?
God, you really have come in hot today, haven't you?
That's what they say.
How do we take that back?
So she says.
Anyway, the point is that casual fans will not buy
I agree with you,
channel.
and Shane said it earlier. How are you going to inspire the next generation when they can't see it? And that's. You're relying on dads to pay for it and make their kids.
Because there's no kids going to the stadiums because they can't afford a ticket. So they're now not watching on telly.
I think that is the issue. It is iconic for a reason, and I think that's because people watch it because they'll sit down, they'll turn on the TV. It always comes on BBC One or whatever, and you sit and go, okay, I'll give this a crack. Plus, the last 4 tournaments, 4 of the last 5 tournaments have just been epic.
Yeah. Last year, 10 of the 15 games were separated by 4 points or less. And so many were the last minute plays as well. Extraordinary. Very interesting. We will watch this space with great interest. And actually, just as we have been recording, there's a lot of breaking news in rugby as we record today's show. This has just dropped as well. A TNT spokesperson has said, while we think the Six Nations is the best international rugby competition in the world, its important partnership with free-to-air television across UK and Ireland, but particularly in markets like Wales and Ireland, would make our involvement very challenging. I wonder if that means that the Six Nations have been out dangling the fishing rod in the pool of the pay TV to try and get free-to-air to bid a little bit more. I don't know. But it sort of seems that some are saying it is going behind a paywall. Others are saying it's not. We will watch this space with great interest. But I think 99.9% of rugby fans will hope that it remains on BBC and ITV.